to do something a little different with meditation. I'm going to read a short poem by Jan Richardson very slowly and more than once like a chant. I invite you to allow it into your heart, your consciousness. I invite you to close your eyes if you wish, or to lower your gaze, whatever's best for you. Just be comfortable. Still me until I hear your heartbeat. Quiet me until I feel your breathing. Make me one with your rhythms. Move me to the cadence of your love. Still me. I ask again, still me, until I hear your heartbeat. Quiet me. I ask again that you quiet me until I feel your breathing. Make me, oh please make me one with your rhythms. Move me. Yes, please move me to the cadence of your love. We'll take some time now in perfect silence. I invite you to rest in spirit. Just rest. Just rest. Slowly, very slowly, take as much time as you need to come back to this time in this room. Take a deep breath if you'd like. And so it is. Good morning, Advent people. Good morning. How are you holding up? Get all that shopping done? The baking, the wrapping, everything else? No? Me neither. But of course, there is another way to approach all this. Why don't we simply go to church and sit among our friends and family in a place of warmth and welcome? I think that's what we've chosen. And it is a warm place. Many of you are aware that we didn't think we were going to have heat today, but thanks to the heating angels and Deb Little, we do have warmth, which is really good because it was 11 degrees when I pulled in here. So we have every reason to be thankful. And today, baby, it is cold outside, frigid, as I said, but you know, you're in here. You are the few, the strong, the brave who came out, who showed up. We're going to be talking about showing up. Thank you for showing up. Welcome to the third of our 4 Advent messages, linked together, as Vivian said, in a season of sacred becoming. Today, our focus is on love, which is one of my favorite topics, and I'm presenting it today to my favorite listeners. So if we settle in, grab a stuffy to hold on to, get cozy, and here we go. As you know, it is not just at Christmas time that we're invited to add more love to our lives, to allow it more into our lives. The opportunity to open ourselves to greater sacredness is a gift that is always available to us. We are indeed blessed. I spoke last week of the many ways the Christmas season can distract us from what we're here for, the invitation to sacredness. And we also know that at this time of year, many of us are less than merry. Some of us are lonely, or grieving, or ill, hurting. Some people lack even the basic necessities of life. For everyone, no matter how we show up, no matter what is going on in our lives, this can be a challenging season. I may be challenging you a bit more today. Last week, our focus was on peace. We explored whether peace is even possible in our world, and we discovered that it is indeed possible. The catch, of course, is that it starts with us, everybody in this room. And if we start with the peace in our minds and let it radiate out to everyone else, there will be peace. No pressure, of course, but it does begin with us, just us. Actually, that's the easy part. We know that we, like the newborn Jesus, carry divinity within us, a divinity we are called to share, as Jesus did, with a world that is greatly in need of it. So we can't just say that we have it, we have to give it. We just heard Reverend Maggie Alderman's essay that Linda read from the Advent booklet, and it poses an interesting question to me. Have you ever stopped to consider the impact your love has on the world? Have you ever stopped to consider the impact your love has on the world? That question grabbed me. If you're like me, you may have considered that your love impacts those closest to you, family and friends, but not perhaps that it may have affected the world at large. I mean, do we even believe that? Do we even believe that what we do impacts the whole world? Now, if Paul was up here, he would be explaining all this according to quantum physics and all that other jazz. But all I can say is, I know we're supposed to believe it, and I think we do struggle to believe it. We don't know how great we are, how big we are. In her essay, Reverend Maggie goes on to suggest that we consider that the love we give has a ripple effect. It radiates way beyond us in ever-increasing circles and touches the lives of others that way, kind of like a stone tossed into a pond. It just radiates outward. So if we look at it that way, maybe what we do does matter. Considering the impact of our love also brings us to more questions. What is love asking of us, of each of you and of me right now? How does love want to manifest through us? I'm not going to give you answers. These are questions we'll just keep before us as we consider love. The love of God, the love poured forth by Mary and Joseph, the love of Jesus, the love we extend to each other. This is, as we have noted, the third Sunday of Advent, so our focus today is love. and what indeed could be more important. It is a dilemma, though. How do I narrow this down to fit in one Sunday message? I could probably give a message on love every Sunday, or maybe even every day for the rest of my life, and still not have covered it all. And so could you. But for today, let's narrow it down a little bit. We'll just look at love through the lens of the Advent story and consider similar examples of love in our own lives. Uh-oh, here comes the moment of doom. I found an interesting quote in our Advent booklet written by Reverend Christine Garza. This is the first time also that I have attempted to make my own slides. Wow. Okay, Advent calls us into love. Not the glittering, polished love of holiday movies, wrapped gifts and store windows, but love that is complex, complicated, and messy. Yeah. Speaking of complex, complicated, and messy, I find it so interesting that the story of Jesus' birth is marked by fear, uncertainty, and complexity. Truly, a journey into the unknown. It is a story of very relatable human situations, isn't it? It's a story that is continued with all of Jesus' parables and stories later on. Every time he had a story or a parable, it was about everyday people in everyday situations. I looked through the Bible, and that is what I found. It's always about just everyday messy people like us. Everyday human situations that we can all relate to. That is why I am not content to leave Mary and Joseph piously polishing their halos as if, after the angels visited them, life was like this smooth, easy ride into eternity and beyond. It cannot have been that easy. I've often wondered what Mary and Joseph's relationship was like early in their marriage. One reason I'm curious about this is because I can identify with them. Like Mary, I was a teenage bride. I got married at 19 and gave birth to my first child 9 months later. And though I was in love, I truthfully hardly knew my husband or myself when we got married. I mean, what do you know at 19? Not a lot. We both had a lot of growing up to do, to say nothing of trying to figure out how to grow together. And then a baby, our beautiful son. My son who's here today is my beautiful son, but he is my second-born son. So all three of my sons and my daughter are beautiful. Let's just leave it at that. Sibling rivalry never dies. It must have taken Mary and Joseph a while to adjust to each other, especially being married. They probably barely knew each other. We know that Joseph was chosen for Mary by her parents. Sometimes I think maybe that is the way to go. Maybe they know more than we do. Anyway, they were human. The point is, they were human, like we are. So they would probably have gotten on each other's nerves once in a while. Now that I have been married to Joe for 4 or 5 months, there are moments that he gets on my nerves. I mean, he probably did before, but I ignored it because I was busy getting ready for the wedding. And I don't think I ever get on his nerves, though. I mean, because, don't look at me like that. Whoa, let's move on. They would have felt overwhelmed at times, I think, and they probably had misunderstandings, especially during those first few months. Did they have difficulty looking into each other's eyes when they felt angry or disappointed in each other? Does any of this sound familiar to you? How difficult it must have been for Joseph to see his new wife already pregnant, knowing he had not made her so. Was he not heartsick? I would think he would be heartsick. And for Mary, how difficult to live apart from her parents for the first time and to live with a man. Was she homesick? I would think so. I know you might be thinking, oh, they were okay. They knew that their union was blessed. They knew that the baby was going to be the savior of the world. I don't think so. I beg to differ. The angel messenger was long gone. Mary and Joseph were people of faith, of course, but like us, their lives were messy and complicated. They would have had doubts and fears and worries, just like we do. They also lived in a small village. Think about that. Their neighbors, no doubt, gossiped about their situation. Whispers that Mary had sinned, that Joseph may also have sinned, or that, at the very least, he was a fool for accepting her as his wife. Not an easy environment to start a marriage. So I believe they had a rough start. Eventually, though, I believe they began to see each other through the eyes of love, as we look at each other, usually. Just as they had opened their eyes to God, their hearts to God, trusting the words of the angel, accepting a new life before them, they also fully accepted each other. And they probably did it more graciously or quickly than some of us do, but they did it. They did this how? With the grace and strength that they received from God when they prayed, when they asked for it. So they agreed to walk side by side into the unknown, which is as good a description of marriage as I can think of. We can identify this, can't we? Many of us, or all of us, have been in service to something larger than ourselves at some point, and it does require you to let go of all the other things that have been bugging you about each other. You have to let go, and you have to walk together. And so they did. And of course, there was also that little added extra they had to come to terms with. Their child was to be the long-awaited Messiah foretold by the prophet Isaiah. Just think about that. There's nothing much harder than having a newborn baby, much less somebody saying, by the way, he's the Messiah, so handle him carefully. I know they couldn't understand this completely because they had human minds like we do, but I think they felt the holiness of their situation. They looked into each other's eyes. The only two people on earth asked to become parents to Jesus, and they felt God's presence. So they dedicated themselves to each other and to the coming child. They became one in the sacred mission they had been given. What are some of the qualities Mary and Joseph brought to the Advent story, and how might we employ them in our lives? Well, first, they were present. They showed up, just like all of you showed up today. They must have been dumbfounded to receive messages from an angel, but they nevertheless gave the angel their full attention. Next, they made a heartfelt commitment to each other in marriage. They respected each other, supported each other, and I believe loved each other. Third, they continuously asked for guidance. And above all, they had courage. Those are the four qualities I just mentioned. Presence is our gift too. It's a spiritual discipline that connects us to the divine. It is a creative force which increases our consciousness and helps to shape our reality. Like Mary and Joseph, we are also people of commitment. Each of us in this room, I have no doubt, has committed to something in life, to God, to marriage, parenthood, career, friendships, this church. Everyone has committed to something. So we're already well on the way, aren't we? Also, like Mary and Joseph, we ask for guidance, don't we? Don't we? Yes? We pray, we meditate, we reach out for the assistance that we need. And what about courage? We definitely have that. As Mary and Joseph did, every one of us at some time or another has had to step out of our comfort zone. We have had to take risks in our everyday lives, even if our lives are less traumatic than Mary and Joseph's. We battle physical pain, mental or emotional stress, and our own individual fears and worries. We have to challenge our own limiting beliefs, and we step bravely into deeper truths, into deeper consciousness. We do that by taming our egos and standing strong in faith. All of that takes courage, and you've got it. You've all got it. Truly, though, it all boils down to love, doesn't it? Everything Mary and Joseph learned, everything they gave, everything they experienced was a form of love. Each of the lessons they had to learn on their journey was fueled by love. The child soon to be born to them was conceived in love. A tiny child of humble parents brought forth in a stable, a cave, and his own mission would also be nothing less than love. His was to teach all of us how to love. This is a priceless gift we've been given. Merry Christmas. No expiration date, one size fits all. We have been given a priceless gift. You probably know what's coming now, right? That priceless gift we were given on that first Christmas is for us, but we're also supposed to share it. The Christmas season metaphysically is about welcoming the Christ consciousness, we know that. Our very essence is divine love, we know that. That's a creative force that will always sustain us. Isn't it absolutely amazing to realize that we have the very same marching orders that Joseph and Mary had, that Jesus had? We have the same spiritual support and guidance that they have. Do you believe that? Deeply, it's true, and it's amazing. We are just like they are. We were sent here to be love in the world. How do we do that? How do we be love? The Bible has plenty of advice on that. It can be summed up like this. Whoops. Let all that you do be done in love. I can do that with some things, but when that word all is a little upsetting to me. All, you mean even the hard stuff, even the stuff that nobody wants to do, all is to be done with love? No cursing at the snow, no screaming at the kids, all to be done in love? We do it the way that Mary and Joseph did it, probably one bite at a time, right? But our job is to see love in everything, in everyone. We recognize that we are one. All of us together are one. One with God, one with each other, one with the planet that we stand on. Unconditional love sees only oneness, only the Christ. That means in all creatures, all circumstances, all people, everything. Love the holiday traffic that slows you down. It isn't cars, it's people. They're humans like you are. I know they seem inhumane sometimes, but they are human, and they are doing the same thing you are, the best they can at the moment. And sometimes the stuff they do, the second they do it, they're sorry, but you can't see in their car that they're sorry. So you have to understand they are humans doing the best they can. And we're supposed to answer with kindness when someone is rude to us. In our culture, we often think that that's a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. We could even smile at strangers, say hello, engage with everybody we meet. Many years ago, my husband said, "Is it your mission in life to become a friend of every clerk in Kmart?" And I thought about it and I said, yeah, it is. And to this day, I will have a conversation, even if the clerk seems surly, I will be sweet and say, "How are you? Are you having a bad day?" And then they suddenly think, "Oh, you noticed that I was a human. I'm fine, how are you?" You know. So we can do this. We can do, these little things will radiate, they will. The story of the Good Samaritan shows us that any perceived difference between us and someone else is an illusion. There can't be any difference because why? Because we are one. We are one. Offering love to someone who is different than you, who may be hurting, who might need help, is actually helping yourself because we're all connected. No exceptions. Mary and Joseph are us. Jesus is us. This is one of my favorite quotes. It's by Mark Nepo. Unconditional love is not about how we receive and endure each other. It is about the deep vow to never, under any condition, stop bringing the flawed truth of who we are to each other. I ask you to consider the highlighted phrase, the flawed truth of who we are. None of us is perfect. I am not delivering my talk as perfectly as I imagined it in my mind because I'm not perfect. None of us is. Life, as we've heard over and over, because I've been saying it over and over, is messy, complicated, and complex, and so are we. So the point of that is, if we say to ourselves, who am I to change the world? Or I'm just one person, what can I do? If we say that, we are denying the truth of our divine nature. If we say that, we are denying the truth of who we are, who we were born to be. It means we are missing the whole point of the story that we're here to talk about. Two humble people, seemingly insignificant people, who allowed the Christ energy to be born into them. That's what it's about. It's the Christ energy being born. They accepted the invitation to open their hearts to the divine spirit within them. And that's the same invitation to us. Deepen our spiritual roots, to live more fully in the light of truth, and to take that light out into the world. Don't keep it in here. The world needs it. Spread it out. That is our birthright. That is our mission. And it is our calling. It's the one and only reason we're here. We think there's so many other reasons. That's the one. Let's take a minute to consider this. Who am I being called to love today, this minute? Just take a few seconds. Right this minute, who are you called to love? Will I dare to reach out to offer love to someone who doesn't like me? To someone I don't like? Someone who seems very hard to love? Someone who has used violence against another? Someone who has hurt me deeply? What might be born in me or that other person if I take the risk of stretching out my hand and heart to them today? Okay, you're not going to like this part. I say it in advance, you won't like it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I would like you all, if you're literally able to stand up, please. I know, this is horrendous, isn't it? My God. I would like you to look at someone across the aisle or a person standing 6 feet away from you, not your spouse or your kid. Nod, smile, touch them, laugh, do something. Go on. Okay, do you see that love? Are you feeling it? It is radiating from you to each other. Can you feel it in the room? Can you feel it? When you're ready, you can, oh my, what's going on over there? Whoa. Feel free to sit down when you want to, if you want to. I wish you could see your faces. You know, I can tell when I say something like that you all are like, well, I almost said the wrong thing. I almost said, geez. But I was going to, the look on your faces is like, oh, do we, it's so hard. If this is so hard, how are we going to do anything more? We have to be able to at least stand up and hug each other. And now that you did, you should see your faces now. Everybody just looks all loved up and relaxed. Bruce has turned into a little white bear. Yeah. Did it feel like a risk? Did it feel like something you just didn't want to do? I know Bruce would want to do it. He always hugs people. But, I mean, did anybody feel like they would rather die than get up and... No. If not, it felt good. So often what we don't want to do feels good. And isn't that the very least we can do to bring love into the world? It's little things like that that make the difference. Love does not allow us to separate from our sister whose religious beliefs are different than we are. Love does not allow us to separate from a family member or dear friend whose politics are different from ours. Love does not allow us to separate from all the people sitting next to us or sipping coffee with us after the service in the Friendship Hall. There is no separation. We are all one. One, 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 one. The world is in great need of our love. It calls us in the voice of the brokenhearted, in the tears of hungry children, in the aching loss inherent in destruction and violence in this world. It calls us in the injustice that has forever been our way of life in this world. All of these voices are calling us to be love, and that is what we are. We are love. Our Creator, in the very human example of Mary and Joseph, has given us a roadmap. It is nothing less and nothing more than love. Let love change you. Let love make you the strongest you have ever been, stronger than you think you can be. Let love be bigger than everything that you cling to in this life. Let love be a fire that gives warmth, that spreads from your heart to everyone else's heart. And then your love will change the world, and the kingdom of God will have come. And so it is. Amen. Blessing.